welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. One of the great things about spring is when we can get out in the outdoors, when we can enjoy nature, and I've so been looking forward to it. So here to tell us some of the treats in store for us at Bluebird Gap Farm is Josh Froneberger. Welcome.
Hi, Robin. How are you?
Great. I love Bluebird Gap.
I do too.
Every survey we do about the budget, every survey we do about city services, you know, people who don't even go there anymore still have this wonderful warm feeling because they went there as kids, they took their grandkids. It is a wonderful place, and you guys have a lot more stuff for us in store this year.
We really do. We've got a lot going on. You know, Bluebird is one of those places that really, it just doesn't stop and rest. We're always trying to improve things, trying to make it a better facility for the public. We've got a lot of things going on this year. We've got a great staff and a great culture going on at Bluebird right now. People that are coming out have been really receptive. Our attendance is up quite a bit. We have several projects that are in the works right now. One of them is trying to utilize Newmarket Creek. The back of our property butts up against a really nice natural area of Newmarket Creek, and we don't really have accessibility to it right now. So we're in the process of getting a kayak launch installed out there that we can, we're going to be offering some guided tours. We're also going to be trying to provide some rentals if people want to go out on their own, or if people are already into the sport of kayaking or stand-up paddleboarding and they want to go out and do that and bring their own, we're going to have that available for them.
I forget the stand-up paddleboarding thing. I have neighbors who do that.
It's a big craze right now.
You know, that's a pretty, you've got a current, but it's a pretty darn calm place.
Where we're at, it's very calm. It's pretty sheltered and it's pretty open. We don't have a lot of current at all. There's not too much wind. It's a pretty stable place to go out and
you know, when you had the big festival last fall, I went out and kind of a kayaker, and I launched from Air Power Park a lot. I was surprised how big the creek is behind you guys.
It really is.
Much more area than I thought there was because, you know, like you were telling me before the show, Newmarket Creek has this horrible reputation because we as a community have moved it, tried to rein it in and created right angles. So, so it's a little bit of a ditch in some areas and it floods regularly, but right about that area is where it's a more natural creek. It opens up. It is a real asset to this community.
It really is.
That people haven't been able to enjoy very much.
And it's an educational piece that a lot of people don't know about. So the majority of Newmarket Creek, upstream of us, is drainage ditch. It goes through neighborhoods, and that's where people are putting fertilizers in. They're not really thinking that the things that they're doing at their house are really affecting their community really close to where they're at. So a lot of the solid waste and things, you know, paper cups and styrofoam and stuff that ends up in people's yards and on their streets ends up in Newmarket Creek sometimes. So that's one of the things that we're going to try to get the word out. Like, hey, you know, the things that we do at home are affecting our local community, and these are the steps that we can do, you know, to fix some of these problems. So getting the kayak launch out there, getting people to enjoy the waterways, getting them out there exploring and seeing what natural wonders Hampton has that people, you know, that's right outside their back door that people don't know about. Those are the kind of things that we're trying to get people hooked on, and you know, get them out there and using those waterways. And
I do want to say, you know, because I am, I'd say an avid kayaker, but I don't get out as much as I want. But it is a sport, to me, even if you're going to buy your own boat, you can get one for under $200. And it doesn't require a lot of lessons or a lot of practice. If you go once a year, you're still good at it. You know, you're right there, you're low. It's not a ton of work. It's not as hard as canoeing, where you have to steer and where you fight with the person you're in the boat with and all that. It's just easy, and people don't even have to make that investment because you guys are going to have rentals available.
We're going to have rentals available. You know, like I said, we're going to have the rentals. We're also going to let people use their own if they want to, and then we're also going to let them do guided tours if they want to, or if they want to rent and go out on their own, they're going to be able to do that too. If they want to come out with a guided group, we're going to have ACA certified kayak instructors that'll be out there with them, so everything will be safe, it'll be guided, and they'll be learning proper techniques when they go out and get started in the sport.
Oh, and you know what? That's a great opportunity for parents to take kids, for Cub Scout groups, for boy, people who are just starting out in the sport, or younger people. It's such an easy place to kayak, and if you've got the instructors there,
it really is.
Covered.
And right, if people haven't been out to Newmarket Creek at Bluebird, like you were saying, it's very open. There's small islands of marsh out there. It's very open and sheltered. It's a great natural area. There's we do have a pair of bald eagles that are nesting on the back side of the shoreline. We've got river otters that we see frequently out there.
Oh, I've never seen an otter. That's great.
They're awesome.
And you're saying, I still haven't done this, but I believe you. It's possible someone could launch at Bluebird Gap, and then it takes a while, because even though it's not a lot of driving distance, the creek goes like this.
Yeah,
but end up at Air Power Park.
So from Bluebird Gap Farm, where we're proposing to launch, to Bluebird Gap Farm is about 2.5 miles, 2.5 waterway miles. So that's how far you would need to paddle. You can go past Air Power Park and keep going, and that goes out into the back river. And if you want to keep going from there, you can go all the way out into the Chesapeake Bay. That's quite a paddle. That's definitely a full day, if not more. But from Bluebird Gap Farm to Air Power Park, you can a reasonable pace, a reasonable paddler, recreationalists can do that in about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, if they're stopping and looking at some of the sites. And
it's nice because you can, just sort of pull up to the side, and there's a lot of birds back there. I've seen red-winged blackbirds, I see egrets, herons. There's, hermit crabs. There's a lot of little stuff on shore. I mean, it's really
fiddler crabs running around. Yep.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, fiddler crabs, I think is what. But it's just so teeming with life.
It really
which
is.
You don't expect. I mean, maybe where you are, it's a lot more natural. But when you get toward Air Power Park, or you get toward the interstate, you think it's it's going to be junk. It's going to be commercial, and you do hear the cars go by, but you're down there on the level with nature, and it's a completely different experience.
It's a really unique experience to be able to hear the traffic from I-64, but also see these pristine waterways and the flora and the fauna that is living there and thriving there. It's amazing that stuff is there, and like you're saying, the shorebirds, the yellow-crowned night herons. There's all kinds of stuff out there that are just amazing that people don't see on a regular basis, but they're there. And anytime we go out on these excursions, you're going to be able to experience those things. I haven't been out on the waterways and not experienced one of those great animal encounters. So.
And it is, City Council has been talking a lot, and I've been looking at a branding proposal. So what is Hampton? What makes Hampton what it is? And I think we're going to end up with the proposition that our water is what defines us. And people may think that's the Chesapeake Bay, but it's also the Hampton River. It's also the Newmarket Creek. We are a water community.
We really
everywhere.
are.
You're not very far from water when you're in the city of Hampton.
We have 48 miles of shoreline in the city of Hampton. I don't think people realize that. That's how many little rivers and streams and things that we have. We have that much shoreline. 48 miles of waterways is a long time paddling. I mean, that's a lot of different adventures you can get yourself into.
That's right.
And that's something that we're starting to build out at Bluebird. The kayak launch is definitely a big thing moving forward this spring. We're trying to have it in.
And you're thinking spring, summer on that.
Mid-spring, early summer, we're hoping to have it in and have people out on the water and enjoying it. Other things coming up this spring.
Let's talk about the traditional part of the park that people are familiar with, the animals.
So on the animal front, we just partnered with Busch Gardens. Busch Gardens is going through some restructuring right now, and they were able to donate some animals to us. So we got some Scottish black-faced sheep. We got 4 of those. We got 3 goats from them that are actually goats that we had given to them over the last few years. We now have them back, which is really nice to see them as full-grown goats now instead of the little babies that they were. We also got some smaller program animals that we're using for external programs. We recently went to Eaton Middle School and did a career day there. We talked with the Women's League of Hampton. We did a program for them. We're starting to build that piece out and do external presentations. So those smaller program animals that we got from Busch Gardens are going to be really instrumental in that. And we got a couple of red-footed tortoises. We already have the big sulcata tortoises that are out there, but we got a pair of red-footed tortoises that don't get quite as big, but still have that wow factor to them. And they do have some conservation concerns, so that's another education piece that we can get out to people. So we got all of those animals in, and the next thing that we're going to try to do out at Bluebird Gap Farm is separate our pastures. so that we can do rotational grazing. Right now, we have a big expenditure in hay, and during the growing seasons, if we can split those pastures into 1 acre plots, we can have the animals on 1 acre for a week, and then we'll go to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and by the time they get back around to that first one that they were on, it's going to have over a month's worth of growth. Nice lush grass. We can save a ton of money on hay, and the animals are going to be a lot healthier for it.
And it is a great, as you said, it's education, and you're
really
educating, especially our youth, but okay, us grown-ups as well, on those kind of ecological practices that are self-sustaining. And it's how, you know, I think of, some people might think of, Bluebird Gap as this throwback to our farm culture in the past. But what you guys are doing is bringing it to the future and showing what modern farming practices are, because we have all become more ecological, and it does cut the cost of hay, and it also gives us a greener footprint and is more sustainable.
Exactly.
So it's not your farm of the 40s. It's how we move those practices into today's life. Yeah.
So we still strive to keep that feel, that older country kind of a feel. But we do want to let people let people know what's going on in a modern agricultural world. Things have gotten a lot more scientific, a lot more ecological based, a lot more, you know, just a lot more thrifty with what's going on. I mean, the environment needs help, and the agriculture community is out in that environment all the time. And they understand soil quality, they understand weather patterns, they understand a lot of things, and a lot of science has gone into that. And one of the things that Bluebird wants to do is to keep that old-timey feel, but also bring the education piece up and let people know what's going on in the world today. And with our location being so close to an urban, you know, center, we get a lot of people that can come in and get that experience.
You know, I've collected eggs from chickens in my childhood, but my kids never did, you know, and so teaching them that, and then also, you don't manage this part, but the piece that is devoted, that is run by the master gardeners, shows kids, shows grown-ups what you can do on a piece of land, how to grow your own food, and they do, you know, a lot of sustainable practices. They do,
and they have their plant sale coming up May 6th. It's the first Saturday in May. For those that don't know about the plant sale, it's a huge hit.
And I'm going to say, just check for dates, because if we re-air this, they do 2 plant sales a year, and get there early.
Yes.
That's all I can
get
say.
Get there early.
I bought a bunch last year.
Come out a couple of days early. They'll have everything set up. Come out a couple of days early. Figure out what you want. Yeah, get an idea for it. Then come in early, because they're
it's great prices too.
You can't beat the prices, and the selection is really great. They got a lot of natives and a lot of
what I love about it is they've grown them, so you know they grow in our climate. You know they're plants that work, because these people have grown them in their own houses or their own, you know, whatever it is they have yards. So
that's right.
It really works for our gardeners here.
So the master gardeners and Bluebird Gap Farm and the Virginia Cooperative Extension have been working together. We're trying to build out more education pieces. So like with the rotational grazing and a lot of the other things that we're going to be doing, we're going to be involving signage. We're going to be doing programming with each one of those things, so that people can come around and tour with somebody, a knowledgeable staff member, and get the education out of that they're looking for. So each thing that we do, the kayak launch, the living shoreline, rotational grazing, all the stuff that the master gardeners are doing, we're gonna be building out the education pieces for that and have people tour around. And
well, it extends what you are. I mean, many people think of it as a great place to take little kids, and forget that as adults there's things we can learn, there's things for older kids. You guys have a ton of land back there. There's, you know, you can go hiking. I mean, there's just a lot you can do besides a petting zoo, which is what a lot of people think of it.
Traditionally, Bluebird has been classified as a park. More recently, we've been reclassified as an outdoor recreation facility. And just by doing that gives us more opportunities to expand and, you know, get creative with the things that we want to offer. we've been listening to the public quite a bit. We do get a lot of feedback from the people that come out. We have a lot of regulars that come out and have been suggesting stuff, and we take all of that to heart. We want people to be happy when they come out there. We want them to be satisfied with the product that we're giving them. You know, we want to be the best stewards with taxpayer money that we can. So we're taking that feedback and listening to people, and they've got a lot of great ideas. And
well, and I want to say you guys have a lot of events. People need to watch the calendar on hampton.gov, watch your Facebook page. I mean, there's a whole lot going on, and we can't even mention all of the things. There's some very large events, but there's a lot of regular small events that people can tap into. And,
they can. We have our own Facebook page that we run. The Parks Department has Facebook page and social media outlets and calendars that we put all of our information on. There's a bunch of different resources where they can find that information. But our Facebook page is our biggest one. We've got over 13,000 followers on it, and that's what we use mostly to get our information out. But like I said, the Parks Department does have a calendar and does have its social media outlets, and you know, as we get things online, we're pushing all that information out, and we want people to come out and enjoy the park.
Okay, well, thank you, Josh. I can't wait.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching. I hope to see you out at Bluebird Gap this spring, this summer. It is a wonderful place to visit, whether you have a half an hour or a half a day to spend out there. Thank you for watching.